To some, it is majestic. To others, a brutal test. For others, it is just a game. And for a few, it is their life, their purpose and toil, their quest to earn a measure of dignity. It is football, high school football, and few places play it with the passion, commitment, and brotherhood like they do at Highland Park High School in the heart of Dallas, Texas.
To go, it's 4th and 4. Stafford's on the field. Here's Highland Park season. 2 receivers each way. 28-25, Texas High with 1:05 left, 4th quarter. Roll right, Stafford going for Martin. Knocked down, incomplete. Great defensive play.
Sometimes out of great disappointment comes a new level of commitment.
The 2004 loss to Texarkana in the first round of the playoffs was a bitter pill for our team to swallow. And this group was a high-achieving group, and that was not what they thought would happen. So after the game, there was some real soul-searching that occurred.
I was completely frustrated the whole year, and I probably said something like, it's not going to be this way next year. We need to all get out here and work hard, but let's try and make football fun again for us all, because I know we were having a tough time our junior year.
That was probably the moment that group started forming a tremendous resolve.
To an outsider, this story of guts and resolve began in a most unexpected place, Highland Park, a community renowned for its wealth and privilege.
A lot of people say that we're privileged here at Highland Park, and they're right because of the support we have from our community and our parents.
Highland Park, I believe, continues to put out or produce quality individuals in all kinds of areas because of parent involvement.
Without question, the people that are in the Park Cities are goal-oriented people. They're achievers. And I think that belief system is very much a part of these kids this year.
This is Texas. Everybody around here knows that it's important to win. I think maybe in Highland Park it's even more so. Around here success is expected.
Named for its location on high land overlooking downtown Dallas, Highland Park has come to symbolize lofty goals and high standards of achievement. A year after being incorporated as its own town in 1913, Highland Park High School began building its own tradition.
Highland Park School District began in 1914. I have some suppositions that since 1914 it's been one of the finest school districts in America, because that was the level of expectation that this community had for its own school district.
There's a banner in our locker room that says tradition never graduates.
Well, coming into Highland Park, we all kind of know that the tradition is very high here. And my junior and sophomore year, I kind of started to realize how special this program was.
In serving the community of Highland Park, and the same thing is true in University Park, people do it with really the best motives, that they do it because they want to give back to a community that has been very good to them. The motto above the front doors of the Highland Park High School is enter to learn, go forth to serve. And that is really very much what I have lived my life by.
I hear from parents all the time that they come to Highland Park because of the reputation of the school district and that they want their students, their children, to have that experience. One of the reasons they have the level of achievement in Highland Park that they do is they work harder.
I haven't been around a group of players that worked as hard as our Highland Park players. That hard work and that commitment is really the secret of what makes Highland Park successful.
What creates this drive to succeed?
I mean, we want to live up to what everybody else has done before us. I guess everybody wants to be a Scott, varsity football player from the time they're in 4th grade.
To me, tradition never graduates means that we want to do better than the class before us, and every year we go far in the playoffs. This year we wanted to go farther.
The history definitely motivates us. You know, I think I can speak for everybody saying that, you know, it's a lot of pressure, but at the same time that helps motivate you.
My dad is a Scott, and I kind of feel like we're playing for him, and like I feel like if I do good, I feel like it makes him do good, and like it makes him feel proud.
Many people don't realize that we're really a small town. We have 4 grade schools, 1 middle school, and 1 high school. So we're no different from some West Texas town that's about our same size.
It's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog.
A lot of people have told us that, you know, my brother and I aren't the biggest guys on the field, and there's no way, you know, why are we playing this sport? You know, we're going to get crushed, and, you know, there's no way we can excel in this sport. We knew we didn't have the size, and so we'd have to encompass that in something else. We have to put our weaknesses aside and just make our strengths even more.
John and Charlie Dickinson really played, and you could see it, they played with their hearts. And they had a lot of guts. And I think that that's a tremendous legacy to leave for younger players coming up.
Where you come from means something to the graduates of Highland Park.
My mother actually did go here. And I mean, she still comes in from out of town to go to the Golden Scots events that they have. I mean, there's this huge tradition and bond that I've never seen before. Coming from a small town, you know, all of my friends are kind of, I don't even know where they all are. But you go back for a high school reunion and there may be 2 or 3 or 5 show up. And here it's like everybody shows up.
Cam and I were at a cocktail party one night at a friend's house, and their mother came up to us, who was a Highland Park graduate, you know, back in the 40s, and just wanted to talk football. You know, I mean, that's all she wanted to do, and she was asking questions about, you know, why they throw it to so-and-so instead of so-and-so. It's just cool.
Few bonds are stronger than those of lifelong friends.
We had been playing with each other since 4th grade, and that just kind of made us a family.
A lot of us played for different teams. I played for the Irish, and the Dickinsons played for a different team. But we just all became mutual friends, I guess, just seeing each other play out on the field.
I think these kids had it in their mind. When they were scoring in the front yard, they were dreaming it was the state championship.
I remember growing up when I was a little kid in my front yard, like I wasn't imagining I was Troy Aikman. I was imagining I was some great Scott.
I've always wanted to just play football in Highland Park. I've always went to all the games and saw like the seniors as like these huge things. Well, now like we're sitting here now and I'm a senior, but I've always watched it and wanted to play football in college, and just it's always been like a goal for me. So I mean, just actually getting here and towards it, it's been amazing. So
if I was talking to myself as a young 4th, 3rd grader right now, I would tell him how I was on the B team in 8th grade. I was a young, fat kid that was slow and would not work very hard until about sophomore year. I mean, you just have to want it.
Notice was taken in the year 2000 when a group of football-hungry 7th graders began to show a different style of play.
And when we went up against another 7th grade team, they weren't ready to defend the pass the way we could pass. I remember we were playing at Highlander Stadium. We were on I want to say our 35-yard line. And Matthew's dropping back to throw the ball. We were running a hook and wheel route, and Morgan Hudnall was running the wheel route. And he turns it up the sideline, and Matthew's getting hit in the backfield. Somebody's draped on his arm, and he just chunks this pass down the field, and Morgan catches it in stride and takes it in for a score. I mean, that was just, those things didn't happen in 7th grade.
I looked at our depth chart when Matthew was an 8th grader, and I decided to go to the junior high and get Matthew out of class. When Matthew showed up in the locker room, we sat down next to each other, and we got to talking about each other's personal lives, and I told him that I thought he had a great future, and I'd watched him play as a 7th and 8th grader. And I asked him what his goals were, and he said, "Coach, I want to win the state championship in football my senior year." And I said, "Well, those are my goals too, Matthew."
Though far from the strongest or the fastest, the 2005 Highland Park Scots knew they had one key ingredient for success: each other.
It's not one person, it's not the offense, it's not the defense, it's not special teams, it's everybody together. And I think we both, or everybody realizes how invaluable everybody is on this team.
I think the key was we weren't a one-man team. Like, people may have thought that outside the team, but like as a team, we knew that we were more than just Matthew Stafford and an offense.
The most satisfying thing for me is just having the chance to be a part of this team, be with these guys. All my teammates are great, and I mean, I wouldn't give up this for anything.
I think this was a great team, really because of the way that we kind of came together and formed chemistry.
And I think because of this unity that we have in Highland Park, and that is going to grade school, going to middle school, and going to high school together, this unity allows us to play at a level maybe beyond our abilities.
And when you decide you're going to get it done, you're not going to be denied. It's 11 people operating as one. It's not any single individual.
Each year, the 4 captains of the Highland Park Scots create a motto that exemplifies their team.
Well, our slogan was Band of Brothers, and when we were thinking it up, I remember the newly elected captains and player committee all gathered around on the field after one of our last off-season workouts, and we were thinking of good slogans, and we were going through some good quotes, good war movies, and Band of Brothers kind of just popped into my mind.
It was a perfect slogan for us because it really exemplified the unity we had as a team, the camaraderie. We do anything for each other. I know football is not a war, but it's the closest thing to it.
We got to practice every day, knowing that we got a job to do, and you got to do it the best of your ability. And just seeing that day in and day out, knowing how bad people want it, how hard they work, and just being around each other in that atmosphere so much, I think is how the confidence and that we had in each other was built.
Their sense of camaraderie and just the fact that they were so unified and bonded and made the student body, the cheerleaders, it all kind of brought us in, draw us in also.
This one was so unique in that it's about us. It's really, no matter what happens, we're going to find a way to get this thing done together. And I think that it really took all of the individual achievement out of it. I think they saw themselves as a band of brothers.
I've heard it said that if you've got a good football team, you've got good mamas and daddies.
The parents and the players and the siblings all together in this community were all pulling together without any backbiting, any animosity. It was just like the community was a team in itself. And the football team was kind of like a microcosm of the community, evolving around the football team.
For lack of a better term, the residents of the town of Highland Park and the city of University Park are a band of brothers. We look upon each other as one big family unit.
I think I got very close to kind of a core group of dads. We really kind of became a band of brothers.
My parents are the biggest fans I know of. I mean, they support everybody on this team. My dad loves it. Every night he watches games of last year and this year, the old tapes and everything. Can't get enough.
Some of the things that the moms had to do this year, we had to design the hats and the game day shirts. We have the photo buttons to have all those pictures taken. That's interesting, trying to get all those boys together to have that done.
We had such a bond. I will never forget that group of mothers.
Either adversity strengthens you or it tears you apart.
The disbelief they suffered when they lost their junior year in the first round of the playoffs really was a genuine catalyst to make them come together and work harder, because until that point they hadn't really been challenged as a team.
It goes back to November of 2004 when we lost to Texarkana, and there's a great picture of Holt missing the pass. Holt kept that picture on the mirror at home and in his locker in the football field. He saw it every day and he said, you know what? I don't want to ever feel like that ever again.
We prepared ourselves right after the loss to Texarkana, and we weren't going to let it happen again. We said that this was going to be our year.
With spring comes renewal and hope.
We changed our off-season program, I think specifically for this grade. Years past, the off-season program wasn't near as hard as it was now. And they changed it because we lost the first round of the playoffs with one of the best teams we've had. And they were like, well, you know what, we're not going to let that happen again.
In the 100-degree heat of August, the sprints and drills of two-a-days are a rite of passage for every Texas football player. The 2005 Scots looked as powerful as any time in their history. That is until a child's game turned from fun to near tragedy.
A couple weeks before school starts, the football team goes out to the field and to the opposite soccer practice field, and we run sprints as a team. Lots of times on the real hot days, we'll pull a slip and slide out there or something like that. And so we had one out there that day, and everybody was running up and down and sliding on it. And I just happened to be walking off the slip and slide a couple yards or so and got hit in the back of the leg.
During the injury, the kneecap was displaced, and we didn't know the extent of the injury, so there were a couple of days before the MRI that we didn't know if Matthew would be able to play for the season. We were very fortunate that he only had 5 cartilage pieces that needed to be removed. So after the surgery, we knew that he would probably be out 4 to 5 weeks.
With their nationally ranked quarterbacks sidelined, the Scots realized their hopes for a perfect season were about to be tested.
In the meantime, our football team had to perform, and we were not going to use Matthew's injury as an excuse why we couldn't win the Denton Ryan game. And of course, we had not beaten Denton Ryan the last 2 years we'd played them, and that was a big game that we had looked forward to playing and winning. We told the football team that because of Matthew's injury, that William Webb would be the starting quarterback, John Edelman would be the backup, and that we were going to go on as planned, and that when somebody gets hurt, somebody else has to step in and do the job, and then the other players have to play even better and harder to take up the slack.
At the Denton Ryan game, the feeling how the team accepted me and they didn't treat me like the backup was incredible. They treated me like I was the guy.
I've heard the phrase, a high tide raises all ships. And I think that was particularly apparent over this past year because, especially when Matthew went down, our offense really had to step up to keep with our defense.
Learn how to sit on the sideline and, just take in a game and try and help the team in other ways, because, you can't play. I just learned that, or how much, I guess, football meant to me and playing for the Scots and being here in Highland Park and trying to play in front of these fans is just, anything a kid could ask for. So that kind of helped me realize that and kind of, humbled me as far as, I'm not playing anymore.
we want to schedule a tough non-district to see where we are. It was my first year there at Rockwall, and so we felt playing Highland Park as myself as well as our coaches and our kids have great respect for that program. We felt like it would be a measuring stick to see where we are or were, and most definitely it was. We went into halftime down 14-9, felt real good about it, and then they came out and pretty much the second half got after us.
After the Denton Ryan and the Rockwall game, we got Matthew back. That's when our team really started rolling, and just every game we got better and better, especially on defense. I think our confidence kept growing and growing, and of course the offense got better with Matthew. And
The house fell not, for it was founded upon a rock. Matthew 7:25.
The impact that Matthew had on this team he was pretty much our rock, because he just, every single time we'd look at him, we'd see how calm he was, and we just knew, like, we would get it done, or he would get it done.
Our offense was as productive as anything I've ever been a part of. I enjoyed watching it. Sometimes I was in awe, though. I remember one incident in particular where I'm standing on the sideline in the Texarkana game, and I don't even remember what the situation was, but we were behind, and Matthew threw a pass, and it was just right in front of me. And I mean, the window to throw it in was about that big, So I thought, wow, what a perfect pass. And then it was an even better catch. And then I looked up, and our receivers tiptoeing down the sideline and heading to the end zone.
Highland Park has a good football team. With Matt there, it was an outstanding football team.
Catching Matthew's passes, you have to be ready for him. He throws them pretty hard, they're like a rocket.
Matthew Stafford is quite the gunslinger. In fact, I'm still recovering from one of his passes. But it'll heal, so that's good.
Matthew Stafford is probably the best high school quarterback that I've ever seen. I think my wife would get tired of me coming home from practice saying, telling her what he did, or you wouldn't believe this, or and then in the games he would duplicate it, or if not, do something even more amazing.
Matthew's influence on the team, he did his part well. He never was the one, to boss you around, tell you what to do, but when he did, it was more of, not negative, but it was more of like a positive influence, like, this would be best, this is what we need to do. And when he taught, everybody listened.
What impresses me most about Matthew is, Matthew is, he's the #1 rated high school quarterback in the country. But Matthew never changed. He was always one of the guys. He never flaunted that. And I think every one of his teammates respected him and looked up to him for that.
Sometimes the critical question to a team's success is not how they handle themselves on the field, but away from it.
If we saw someone who was doing something like drinking, we'd just go pull them out of the party and just go get them back on track.
Most schools, most football players, they get dragged into going off and partying and doing stuff that isn't good for the team. But this year, I was lucky, and I had a great group of friends that we decided we weren't going to do it, and we were going to really focus on football. And I had me a girlfriend, but football came first.
After football games, we'd go either Grandma Richie's or just hang out at a friend's house, maybe go fishing or something.
A lot of people would say we were boring, but it was worth it.
After each touchdown, the Scotsmen are responsible for running the flags, which are pretty heavy, up and down the field, which is 100 yards there and 100 back. And at the end of the season, we had calculated that after all the points had been scored, we had run something like 66 miles.
When we look at the season, I look at it as 3 seasons. You have the first 5 games, which is non-district, the next 5 games, which is district, and then the last season, which is the playoffs. When you get into the playoffs, it's a whole different ballgame. Basically, you want to do your best, because if you don't do your best, it's do or die.
Though the 10 battles in the regular season had been won, this band of brothers knew the war was just beginning.
Our kids are deeply rooted in character, and I think the Texarkana game became a character game.
Well, these two teams, arguably the top 2 in 4A in the entire state, and here they are in the first round. Texas High won the toss. They will receive. 28-25 a year ago on this field. In favor of Texas High, Scott's looking for revenge tonight, and 2 senior-laden teams with outstanding quarterbacks. 3rd down and 7 from the 35.
Offset eye in the backfield.
Yeah. Mallett steps up, and he's got a man. It's complete. He gets behind the defense. Josh Meredith has to make the stop, and Mallett leans his 6'6" frame across the goal line. Touchdown, Texas High. Texas High couldn't have drawn up a better start.
The Texarkana game was definitely a gut check. The year before, we had come back from a close game, or we had been down and come back and almost took it at the end. And we didn't want to get in that situation again, but unfortunately, we found ourselves down in the first quarter.
From the 4. And that's going to be very close.
Touchdown.
Looking for the signal. It is. Touchdown, Texas High. It's Gullett on the 4-yard run.
And I told the kids, you got to keep doing what you're doing, and things will start working out. But when it got down to 17, I said, hey, we've got to get some points.
I just remember being 17-0, and I was just completely calm for some reason, knowing that we've had the ball twice and haven't done anything with it, but we've had some missed opportunities.
When the score was 17-0 and Texarkana lined up for their kickoff cover team, they started doing a locomotion dance, and they looked up in the stands and got their crowd to stand up and start clapping.
Welcome back, everybody. You see Texas High dancing around, and
Scots just need to stay with what they do.
At that time, I think our players took that as a personal challenge. And one thing you don't want to do to a champion, you don't want to try to intimidate them when they're down a little bit, because they'll come back even harder. And the first pass we threw hit number 43 in the stomach.
Play action. And Ernest had it in his hands, nearly had the interception.
Well, if he gets that, it's 6.
And he dropped it. And that was really the last time I thought that Texarkana had a chance to beat us, because the next pass Matthew threw was to Morgan Hudnall for 60 yards.
Down the sideline. Morgan Hudnall inside the 20. Another pump fake.
Got him open
Coming
again.
back, looking to Hudnall.
Nice catch. Is it good?
Touchdown.
Good
Nice
job.
That was a bullet.
That was a bullet.
That was a
But
bullet.
again,
First touchdown we scored, Matthew Morgan went on an out pattern. It was the hardest pass I've ever seen thrown.
The offense had stepped up big. Now it was time for the defense to make a stand.
Was short of the first down. Third down and 1. Tandem set. Ernest again in the backfield.
got him this time.
And
That's
Stoney.
There's the stop, boys.
There's
the stop. That'll pump him.
It took stuffing the big running back, Dustin Ernest, on 3rd and 1 to give our defense the confidence that we could stop Texarkana from running the ball right down our throat.
We were behind and we managed to get back in it. Kids swung the momentum our way, and we just felt good because we climbed back in right before halftime, and we knew going into halftime, I think Texarkana knew it as well, this was going to be a slugfest to the end.
When I heard I got the job for the Texarkana spot, I was nervous, but I was anxious because, it was a big opportunity for me, but at the same time I felt bad for Holt because this is kind of his game to redeem himself, because last year he dropped that ball and he wanted to make a play for the team.
With 48 seconds until halftime, what happened next was not supposed to happen in a high school football game.
Safeties are 15 yards deep.
Stafford looks left, rolls to his right on the
Has him
run.
open back
Wide
deep. Now that could be a flag.
Touchdown, Ross Bolin. He's got it.
Great job.
Baby.
That'll work.
73 yards on the play, and just like that, the Scots are right back in this football game.
Game on, boys.
I think Matthew threw it around 60 yards on the run, which was unbelievable, and the defender, I don't think the defender knew he could throw it that far, so I was able to make the play.
With Matthew being the quarterback, there's never a receiver that's been too far. And sure enough, Matthew rolls out. That safety, Matthew throws it. That guy's got to be thinking there's no way he's going to throw it over my head. And that safety slowed up. Why, I have no idea. And Bolin just kept drifting behind him, and it was too late. The ball was there, and it was a touchdown. It was a beautiful play.
Looks like what kind of formation you've got.
They give it to Smith, and down he goes. J.K. Uregi getting into it.
I'd say the defense is a little bit jacked up right now, boy.
Right before half, the Texarkana fullback cussed our players, and our players squared off with him. And their attitude and their demeanor was, we're making a stand and we're coming back the second half and we're going to finish the deal. To understand the commitment and the intensity that our players had, you had to go back a year before in 2004 when we narrowly lost that game by 3 points.
I remember running into the locker room, and might as well have us been up 21-0. We were so excited and had so much momentum on our side that we just realized that if we came out in the second half and matched any kind of the intensity we just showed in the last quarter, that they didn't really have a chance.
3rd down and 7 from the 34.
Texas High a little bit confused,
very
aren't they?
confused. Stafford with time.
And a catch.
It's Hudnall.
Keep your feet, keep your feet.
Morgan Hudnall's got to score. Oh, baby, 67 yards on the play.
Ball game is on, baby.
But like any great battle, casualties often result.
Mental toughness is keeping your emotions under control under adversity, and there was some adversity in the Texarkana game.
First play of the second half, I sprained my MCL, and I started freaking out. And Coach Wells came onto the field, and he was just reassuring me. He was like, just worry about coming back and being able to help the team out later in the playoffs.
The quality of the Scots' backups would prove invaluable.
Chris Olsen went down, and Seth Graham stepped right in and, played as good as anybody thought he would. And we all knew he could. We've been playing with him forever and realized how good of a lineman he is.
You got to put the team first, and I wasn't really focusing on myself, just trying to help the team. I was playing, every different position on the line and having to practice, go first and second team with that. So, I was just trying to do what's best for the team.
Scoring 24 unanswered points, the Scots had returned fire to set up a classic finish.
They're bringing everybody. He read it. Look out.
They burn it.
They're not going to catch him.
Charlie Dickinson. Not today. 71 yards on the play. Touchdown, Highland Park.
Live by the blitz, die by the blitz. We talked about that early in the game, Don, if they keep doing it.
Mallet under pressure.
Got him.
And the Scots get him. J.K. Uregi.
Here we go again.
Stafford.
Outside. He's got it.
He's got it. Touchdown.
He's got it more than one. Nice. Look at that.
On the run. And Stafford's down to the 1 yard line. Oh, baby.
Yeah. Look at him dive for that. Look at that. What an effort. Well, that's sacrificing your body for the cause, boys.
Good game management here. That's a touchdown, boys. Alex Carroll leaps, and it's touchdown, Highland Park. The Scots. What a second half. 1st and 10. There you see the situation. 3:07 to play in the game. Scots with the upper hand. Mallet fires. Wow.
Mercy.
Matlock with the catch.
That was less than a minute.
Highland Park at the 30-yard line. Stafford back to pass.
Got a man open deep.
Firing downfield, and it's caught. Charlie Dickinson makes the grab.
Huge, huge, huge.
Oh, brother, that's a dagger right there.
What a deal. They weren't expecting that.
And that's going to do it. Highland Park's not even going to have to snap it again. Nothing but celebration.
Skeptics fell by the wayside as the band of brothers marched through McKinney North and Ennis.
Winner advances to the state semifinals. Going deep.
Oh, what a great defensive play by Jared Sweet.
Personally, I felt it was a team of destiny. There's examples on the field I've seen, even against McKinney North. I remember when it was real close. I think it was 14-14 or maybe 21-14 before halftime. And Stafford just threw it off, got tipped by 3 guys, and John Dickinson comes down with it.
When one player would be hurt and go down, another player would come in and take his place. The team would not miss a beat. Matthew goes down before the season. William Webb comes in, has the game of the century. William gets hurt in Rockwall. John Ellerman comes in, didn't miss a beat. Chris Olson goes down, Seth Graham comes in, we don't miss a beat. Holt Martin goes down, Ross Boland steps in.
Welcome to Fouts Field at the University of North Texas in Denton.
Against the firepower and grace of Stephenville's elite offense, Highland Park's smooth road turned decidedly treacherous.
And that's a great individual effort right there.
To me, that was like Highland Park was playing Highland Park. They had a group of superior athletes that were very determined as well.
Viewing Stephenville with the Highland Park game and on that December 3rd afternoon in Denton was much the same. I mean, a great football game. It has been viewed as one of the best games in Stephenville high school football history.
Neal in motion, they fake it, this is Sneed. He's got the first down and more out to the 40-yard line.
Going against Stephenville, we had our hands full. They were a very talented offense. They had a lot of great players, Javon Sneed for one, and he had a cast of receivers that was just as good as him. And they highly complex offensive scheme. We knew we were in for a game. It was going to be something to see. It was going to be a clash of two Titans.
I'm not sure what the defense thought of them. I'm sure they thought it was probably the most confusing thing they've ever seen. I mean, they had something like 54 formations or, and a bunch of different plays and a bunch of options for their quarterback all in one play. I think he had 6 options. I mean, that's tough to defend, and they did a great job. I mean, that's a complicated offense and, one of the best quarterbacks in the nation.
The Scots enjoyed early success.
Here's Stafford with time over the middle, has his man complete.
Touchdown.
Touchdown, Highland Park. It's John Dickinson, 44 yards on the play.
But so would Stephenville.
Sneed's got a man, and he's behind the Highland Park defense. Look out. That's going in the books as an 80-yard touchdown pass.
We never really felt like that anybody could stop us consistently all night long.
We were up there beating them pretty bad for a while. And then the second half came back and, pretty much took it to us for the third quarter. We made some mistakes. I made a couple mistakes that were.
Stafford, pump fake. Firing, and it's going to be picked off.
With a team as potent as Stephenville, any Highland Park miscue allowed the Yellow Jackets to stay in the game.
Second down play, Sneed fires over the middle. Callahan breaks it up, but a penalty
that's going to be pass interference right there.
McElfresh,
mercy.
A quick strike followed.
Yeah, so it could be the draw.
Sneed in trouble, fires, has a man, touchdown.
And Stephenville pulled within 4. In businesslike fashion, on a 4th and 17, the Scots went back to work.
Stafford going over the middle. He's got his man. It's Jake Feld. It's touchdown Highland Park.
Woo! That is a killer right there when you give up the long ball on 4th down.
8 plays later.
Sneed hands it to Neal. And he's down. Callahan got him.
It's going to be a face mask.
The penalty would move Stephenville inside the Scots' 10-yard line. And on the last play of the third quarter,
Edwards in the backfield. Sneed.
Touchdown.
Reaching over. Touchdown. Stephenville on the last play of the third quarter.
Up by 3, Highland Park went into their clock control offense.
Alex Carroll stacked up at the line of scrimmage.
Man, there are some shots being fired out there.
You better believe
they are.
At kickoff, the temperature had been hovering in the mid-80s.
Felt gets the call.
Not much room.
And the Yellow Jackets, that's Stewart on the tackle. He gets down to maybe the 6-yard line.
I'll tell you one thing, Art. We just noticed that wind's picked back up. Look at that flag. The norther is supposed to blow through. It might have just got here. It did. I can feel it. I can feel the temperature drop.
By the fourth quarter, a powerful north wind had begun to blow, bringing with it a shift in both teams' momentum.
Welcome back, everybody. Not for the faint of heart right here. Fourth down and 6. And Randy Allen says we're not going to kick it. Matthew Stafford, Alex Carroll, and Jake Felt in the backfield.
You're going to have 2 crossing routes coming up. There it is, right there.
Stafford under pressure, fires to the end zone, and it is broken up.
Did you see that?
Stephenville will take over at the 6-yard line with 8:21 to play in the game. And the weather definitely changing here, of the wind substantial. Yellow Jackets will be going into it.
On the next play, Stephenville began to assume the posture of a come-from-behind champion.
Sneed stands at the goal line. Reverse it to Neal. Look out, Dallas Neal. Dallas Neal.
Come on,
John Callahan. Neal will score.
We just hit the 96-yard run to go up 38-34. again, nobody has played Highland Park close even to halftime. We knew at half if we could be close, we had a chance. Now going into the game, we knew that there were two things that were going to happen. One, Highland Park was going to have to make some mistakes. And two, we were going to have to play almost perfect football to stay close. We were going to take some chances.
With plenty of time still on the clock, Highland Park calmly went into its ground control offense.
And that's Jake Felt, and Felt's got a first down out over the 35-yard line to the 37. And under 6 minutes to play in the ball game. Stafford hands off. This is Felt. He's got room. He's got a first down and more. Into Stephenville territory. First down, Highland Park at the Yellow Jacket 33. Two-back set for Stafford. Gonna fire it out to Charlie Dickinson. He makes the grab. Ball is loose, and Stephenville has it at the 21. Golly. And making the recovery is Cody Davis.
I was thinking, I'm talking about walking back down the sidelines after Charlie's fumble. I guess for a fleeting moment entered my mind that we might not win the game. But on the other hand, I think all my thoughts were, what am I going to do once we get the ball back to score? And how much time is on the clock?
When I had that fumble in Stephenville, I was devastated, but really, I knew my team would get my back. And I mean, there's no other team that I'd rather have than the guys around me.
And though all looked its bleakest, the spirit of this band of brothers refused to relent.
We had a group of players that really did have a lot of faith and prayed after the game as a team.
You know, I told kids on the sideline, I said, you know, guys, this is not about me drawing it on the board and fixing an alignment or something. This is about great players making plays.
When Charlie fumbled the football after we took the lead 38-34, I looked at the clock. It read 4:08 or 4:34 on the clock, and I said to my assistant coach, there's too much time on the clock. All our kids got together on the sidelines, and my exact statement to the kids was, fellas, we got to get 2 first downs. We get 2 first downs, we're going to win this football game.
4:12 to play in the game. Stephenville 38, Highland Park 34.
Need a stop here. Need a stop.
Jevin Sneed carries it right up the middle.
Nothing there. Great job up front by Hill and Uragi and Thomas Hill did an Paddington and David Foose. Goodness gracious.
Never once did we ever think about hunting the football. That never came across our mind. We had a 20-25 mile an hour wind coming in our face, so we're 2nd and 9. And we call the play, you go for the win.
Stephenville will work on the clock. Play clock at 20. Game clock at 3:45 and counting. Sneed is going to throw the football. Intercepted by John Callahan. Waiting for the indication. John Callahan's got it. Woo-hoo-hoo, baby.
Great play.
When I came up with the interception, I stepped in front of the ball and we both had it, kind of both in our hands. I actually had it a little bit more than him, and I was trying to shield body, kind of shield him away from the ball. And then we both rolled over on the ground and we were both kind of pulling forward. And then when I actually caught it, and you've ever seen the tape, I looked pretty stupid. I'm jumping up and down, going crazy, and everyone was.
John Callahan came in and got the interception, and I mean, I had all that huge burden lifted off my shoulders.
When John Callahan intercepted the ball, it was heaven sent. It was like all of our prayers were answered, like we were given a reprieve.
With that interception that John made, a remarkable play, a phenomenal play. He took a chance. Was it destiny? Some people say it is. I think it was meant to be. It was just the way it was happening, and he made a break. It was Highland Park's turn.
When we got back on the field, Matthew just looked at all of us and he was like, it's time, we need to do this.
Coach Allen got us in the starting offense, and he's like, this is it, this is the drive, we're going to finish this here.
In the midst of thousands of celebrating Scots, It was Ross Boland's time to cement his place among the band of brothers.
When Callahan picked it off, I mean, everyone was going crazy. So at the time, I knew I had to find Holt.
Holt was able to play in the Stephenville game. Coach Allen said, Ross, I want you to start, and then Holt, I want to come in at every other series.
Ross knew that Holt had put a tremendous amount of effort in getting ready for this season. On the series that Charlie Dickinson had fumbled the ball, Holt had been in the game, so it was actually Ross's turn to go into the game on that final drive.
And when it came down to that last series, I was thinking to myself, this could be the last series I ever play in football.
I could see in his eyes that he wanted to go in, so I just told him, you can have it if you want it.
So I stayed in the huddle. I look over at Ross, and he motions, do you want it? And I said, yes, I do.
On the drive to win the game against Stephenville, we were in our two-back offense, which is our running offense, and I wanted to move the ball and score and not leave them hardly any time on the clock.
There it is, 3:33 to play in the game. 1st and 10 from the 32.
New life for the Scott
That's
offense.
right.
Clock management again.
Chris Olson back in the ball game for Highland Park at right tackle. Reverse, John Dickinson with the football, well defended there by number 12 for Stephenville as he drops John at the 30.
Might have made a yard.
2:25 and counting. It's Felt. He's going to get the first down to the 20-yard line. Jake Felt would not be denied.
One of the Stephenville linebackers poked Jake in the eye intentionally, and he had to come out of the game. I didn't have a two-back offense, so I had to run the ball a couple of times with Matthew.
With respect for Stephenville's quick strike offense, Coach Allen knew he had to take time off the clock before taking a shot at the end zone.
1:40 to play in the ball game. 2nd down and 1, but 11 yards away from a touchdown, a go-ahead touchdown. Stafford. And he's going to be knocked back after he gets around the 7-yard line. And let's see if they burn another timeout or not. Boy, we've got our money's worth today. Stafford on the draw, and he stopped at the 6-yard line, and a heck of a defensive effort there. That was number 61, Ferguson, but your man 45 got there first.
Austin Smith, he's been all over the place. Under 1 minute.
2nd down and goal for Highland Park. Alex Carroll in the backfield for Stafford. Stafford's going to fire to the end zone. It's caught. Touchdown, Highland Park. Is it Holt Martin?
That was an incredible number 8, Holt Martin.
Martin, my favorite Martin, in there for the touchdown, and Highland Park leads it 40-38.
Was that a clutch play or what?
And now a big extra point right here. You want to go up 3. Clayton Thomas on to kick it. Kick is up, and it's good. 37 seconds left in the ball game.
The most unbelievable, unselfish sportsmanship, teammanship act I've ever seen, Coach Allen's ever seen, for Ross to do that. Now, forever, he will etch in his mind the catch against Stephenville, and it couldn't have happened without Ross. Ross is the reason Holt will live forever in happiness.
Sneed gonna take off. This will burn a lot of time.
Now they're going to stop the clock with the first down. Dadgummit.
Gimpy.
Oh, he lost him.
He escapes, fires, and incomplete. And that's the ball game. Time has expired, and Highland Park
Since their last state championship in 1957, 48 years of Highland Park fans have dreamed of returning to the state championship game. those dreams would soon be dashed, not by the ability of their team, but by the fickle flip of a coin.
After the Stephenville game, my son and I drove to Burleson to see Pflugerville play Marshall in the semifinal game. Highland Park would play the winner, and after the game, we met in the press box for the coin flip to decide which site we would play at. Marshall chose Tyler as a midway point to play the game in Rose Stadium. We chose Texas Stadium. It came down to the coin flip. I asked David Curlis, one of our coaches, if he had a quarter that I could flip. I let the Marshall coach call the coin flip while the coin was in the air, and he called heads. When the coin hit the floor, it was heads.
Thousands of Highland Park High School football fans are angry today because of the limited number of tickets available for Saturday's Class 4A championship game.
The night of the Booster Club meeting on Monday night, when we had the ticket sales and we sold out of tickets, I had the Santa hat on, and there were some mad people in the cafeteria during Booster Club meeting. And when I got up to the mic, I told them the reason I had the Santa Claus hat on is I wanted to know if you've been naughty or nice. If you've been naughty, you're complaining because there's not enough tickets for all the Scott fans that want to see the game. You've been nice if you're just thankful that we've got an opportunity to play for the first state championship in 48 years.
There was a sense that the community was completely behind us, and I guess it didn't really sink in until that pep rally.
The feeling at that pep rally before the state championship game with Marshall was just electric. And I'd never seen anything like that at a pep rally. It was crammed, and it was absolutely electric to see those former players on the last championship team be there and speak, and to hear the coaches address the team, and to see the sparkle in those young men's eyes. It was just something that I'll never forget.
So down the road, when you're talking about the 45 team, the 57 team, you be sure and mention the 2005 team, the team that went to Tyler and brought back the title.
This team absolutely supercharged this community this year. It brought teammates and members of our 57 championship team back. It brought Highland Park Scots from all around back and got those Scott spirits going again. It was absolutely incredible.
Highland Park fans had rarely had to go so far, so early, to see their boys play a game. But this wasn't just any game. It was the state championship.
If you've ever been to a Highland Park game at home, everybody's fashionably late. And to get there at 9, 10 o'clock, knowing that the game isn't starting until 2 or 3, I can't remember the start time, but 2 or 3, and to see that line stretching as far as it stretched, and then when they let everybody come into the game and seeing the stands packed by noon, knowing that we still have hours before the game starts, it was incredible.
And I also loved at the state tournament when we were all in Tyler, and of course had to be in the seats hours before, and when the buses came out and the boys came out on the field in their sweatpants, and they were just walking on the field, and just the look in their eyes, it was great. They weren't in formation, they were just walking out on the field, and you just felt like they were thinking, oh, this feels good, we've worked so hard, and just to be on the field feeling that they had finally made it. I loved watching that.
I just remember after the Stephenville game, our offensive line coach said, look, yeah, we won the semifinals, that's great. But he said, if you're going to beat Marshall, you've got to be more focused. You've got to get better this week. And you've got to be ready to go. So I remember a focus like I've never had that week. It was unexplainable.
From their first pass to their first catch, in backyards and on playgrounds, these friends, these brothers who stood side by side, links in a collective ideal to stand one day on this field, in this game, and to do it the best it's ever been done.
Hello, everybody. I'm Art Finley, and welcome to Rose Stadium. for our expanded coverage of Highland Park football. Today, the 4A Division I championship between the Scots and the Marshall Mavericks.
Facing a talented Marshall Mavericks team who a year before had come within 3 points of capturing a state title, the Scots prepared with one goal in mind: dominate for 48 minutes.
Carswell wants to roll out, and he's going to be sacked. That's Frederick Rousey.
All 11 of us on defense, we weren't going to be stopped, and we just came together, as a team. And before, we always have kind of meetings before each game as a defense, and we were just like, guys, this is our last game. How do you want to be remembered?
The defense ready to face one of the most prolific runners in Texas, Jackie Robinson, who needed 24 yards to break the 5,000-yard career mark.
Number 34 is Jackie Robinson. Keep your eye on him. He's going to get the football. First down, it's Robinson, plows into the line. Scots are ready, and they stack him up, maybe a yard on the play.
A strategy shift had taken place as Marshall, a predominantly running offense, went to the pass early. 3 plays later, it was the Scots' turn with the ball.
Let's set the Scots starting offense. Number 6, Morgan Hudnall, and number 3, John Dickinson at wide receivers. Number 70 is Chris Olson at right tackle. Right guard, 68, Alex Cole. The center, number 53, Paul Shifley. The left guard, number 72, James Myers. The left tackle, number 77, Reed Prince. Number 22, Charlie Dickinson, and number 8, Holt Martin. We'll talk more about him in a while at wide receiver. In the backfield, Jake Felt, number 5, number 34 is Alex Carroll, and then a guy that wears number 7, Matthew Stafford, and a little confusion there for Highland Park, and that's going to cost him 5.
Some wondered, could there be a letdown?
In and play some good steady football. We'll keep our eye on the linebacking core. We'll set them in a minute. 10 seniors and 1 junior coming back, 8 starters from a year ago. And here's Jake Felt. Felt up the middle. Nobody's going to catch him. Touchdown, Highland Park, Jake Felt.
Outstanding call by Coach Allen.
I'll never forget it. And just got a handoff, made 1 cut, and it was a pretty good hole. And from there, didn't really have to do that, do too much. Just try to outrun everybody, and it was awesome.
Right now, the Scots are winning the battle at the line of scrimmage. There's no question about that.
Carswell, nobody to throw to. Better get rid of it. And it's going to be intercepted by Highland Park.
Good job.
That's Jarrett Sweet on the play. And it's going to be Scott football at the 24-yard line. 3rd down and 1 for the Scots. Here's Jake Felt. He's got running room again. He's inside the 10. It's going to be 1st and goal.
In the Marshall ball on the 20.
Jake Felt, touchdown, Highland Park. Scott offensive line getting it done.
With the Mavericks on their heels, the Scots continued to pull out the stops.
The game results against Marshall were totally unexpected. I really expected it to be a close game. Marshall was 13-1. They had a great defense and lots of speed. They had a big running back. I never expected our defense to only give up 2 yards of total offense in the first half. And, of course, the 42-0 halftime lead was unbelievable, really. If you think about state championship games and how teams have played in state championship games, it was a total unbelievable blowout that nobody expected.
What amazed me the most about it was that we actually were almost flawless. And I've never seen that in a football game before.
I remember in the late fourth quarter, I looked into the guy's eyes and I almost started feeling sorry for him. I was just like, God, it's got to be awful in a state football game, just getting blown out this bad. And then you knew it was bad when the game was over, they just got out of there.
If life is a series of moments, sharing this one with your closest friends who you would do anything for was particularly sweet.
When I ran off the field for that last time and the crowd gave me a great ovation, that was just, more than you could ever imagine, It was just, I was just having such a tough time keeping a straight face, and it was an emotional time realizing that, that was the last time I was going to wear the blue and gold, so it definitely sticks with you around here, and as Winky Turner said in our pep rally, he said, once you're a scout once, you're always a scout, so I'm definitely always going to be one.
In the widest margin of victory in the UIL state championship history, Highland Park capped its perfect 15-0 season, finishing as the 6th best team in the Max Preps National High School poll. But even more impressive was the fashion in which they did it, as brothers. In years to come, history will ask for a statement of what the 2005 Highland Park Scots team stood for.
This season was a milestone, obviously because of the first state championship in 48 years, but the way in which we won the state championship. I think the legacy that this football team will leave will cause the expectations of future teams to be very high. I think instead of hoping that you're going to win, I think your players believe they're going to win.
For those lucky enough to have witnessed it, we saw a team with more than ability and toughness and a brilliant coaching scheme. What we saw made us fight for a ticket, flock to their parade, collect their autographs. What we saw was love.
This story shall the good man teach his son.
This story shall the good man teach his son from this day
to the ending of the world.
But we in it shall be remembered. We in it shall be remembered.
We few, we happy few, we band of brothers.
For he today that sheds his blood with me.
For he today who sheds his blood with me.
For he today that sheds his blood with me.
Shall be my brother.
Shall be my brother.
Shall be my brother.